Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for inviting me to partake in this wonderful leadership group of you this afternoon. And I just want to say it's always a privilege to share a few words with leaders who have stick up their hand and say, I'm here, I'm going to do it. Because let me tell you, anybody who makes it to director level is already showing that you've got leadership in you and you are serious about your future. The whole thing is then to make it solid and go from there. That's very, very important. I also want to thank your wonderful leaders, uh, Josvat and Pia Rose. Uh, Wonderful, inspirational leaders, full of fire, full of enthusiasm, dedication, and they also has been an inspiration to me. I was talking the other day to them, and I remembered, I think we were at World Team Convention in Abu Dhabi, and because I'm not very strong on technology, and I was sitting with them, and Josvat started to make me a little bit wise on technology. So thank you very much, Josvat, for helping me now. Now I've got more confidence. I'm even on Zoom today. You can see what can happen if you're really serious and you make some decisions, you can make things happen. So it's wonderful to know you and your great family and everybody here. Some of you we already met, and some of you are new faces, but it's a privilege to share a few words today. And I want to make it as practical as possible. So, Josvat, if you can just allow me to do some screen sharing. I just want to share something. So can you allow me from your side just to do some
You can. You are
screen
a
sharing?
co-host. You are able to do that, Hansie.
Okay, fantastic. I just want to quickly get to that important thing. Okay, there you are. Okay, just one moment. Just one moment. And I don't want to make all the work undone that you have shown me. Let me just first do that. There you are. Now we're getting there. There you are. Can everybody see that?
Yes, we can, Hansie.
You can also hear me properly?
Very well.
Good, fantastic. So I want to share with you a little bit about today, about a very, very basic thing that I realized over the years of doing the business that a lot of people struggle with, because most people who start the business do it on a part-time basis. And it's only a few people normally that does it from day one on a full-time basis. And even myself, my wife and I, we started on a part-time basis and eventually went on a full-time basis. And if I'm going to show you today what this is all about tonight, actually, then I hope it will help you in your thinking how to build a solid business. So the thing that we have to understand when we start in new life is everybody starts their own business has the same challenge. Everybody, there's no exception. And what is this challenge? Is that all 24 hours of every day has already been filled with work commitments, family, school, ministry, sport, TV, cell phones, WhatsApp, Telegram, emails, sleep, community activities, and we go on and on and on. And when we look at the business opportunity for the first time, we get excited about what we see, but immediately when you go back home that evening or that afternoon, you are immediately in a situation where you realize, where do I find the time? Is there really time available? Because everybody who looks at the business already uses all 24 hours. It's utilized. Now, the biggest challenge that I find is when you start a new life is to set new priorities for yourself. I'm talking about new priorities because you and I are living our life because we have set certain priorities in what we do, but now we have to put in a new priority somewhere in our lives to find at least 5 to 12 hours a week to build my part-time business long term. Now you see the words that I'm using here. I'm going to explain more what it means to do a business part-time, but also long term. Because let me tell you, it's not worth your while starting a business and play around with it short term to see if it will work or whatever. But when you start the business and you start getting serious and you get to the level where you are as leaders, as directors, I hope that you already made a decision to think long term about this business. Because if you think long term and you do it properly, in a proper way on a part-time basis, you're going to reap incredible benefits. I'm going to share with you more about that. So we all literally have to cut on a few current activities to fit in the 5 to 12 hours we need to build our business. Now, everybody on this call, I think already understand what I'm talking about. Especially, when you're really focusing on this business, if you go full-time, a few priorities will also change. But on a part-time basis, for you to get to director level, you had to make a few adjustments in your program, in your daily living, and in what you do. So we have to cut on certain activities, and you won't do it if you're not serious. So my question to you is now, how is your current daily and weekly program? If you look in your diary, if you look at your life, you will sit down and make a few notes on how is your Monday, how is your Tuesday, how is your Wednesday, how's every way of the week, what is the stuff that you have to do, that you are committed to, how does it look like? And then you must ask yourself the question very, very honestly and give an honest answer. How do I fit new life into this program of mine? And when I say fit new life in, I'm talking about 5 to 12 hours at least every week, minimum. 5 to 12 hours every week. So the big question is, where do you find the time? Now, let me give you a little bit of background where I come from. When my wife and I, Lydia, started, I was a full-time pastor. I was involved in numerous community activities. My life was filled with ministry and meetings. I loved playing squash. It's a kind of, I don't know if you know squash, but it's a kind of a tennis game. I wanted to help my wife with my cerebral palsied son because my firstborn was born cerebral palsied, and it actually demanded a lot of attention from us and a lot of help and assistance. And also my other children, another 2 girls were born for me, right? So you know how demanding family life can be. I also wanted to watch a few TV programs. I wanted to work in the garden, and I need to keep the bank manager off my back. So you can see, this is just some of the things that took my time and attention, and there was not much time because when we started, I owed a lot of money to the bank, and I had to work on the relationship with the bank manager to keep him off my back all the time and to get him excited about the new plan that I have to get out of debt. And that is when we started the New Life business. So how did I find those extra 5 to 12 hours every week to build our business on a part-time basis and long-term? Because I was not really willing to invest my time into something that will give you some benefits for the next 6 months or a year, and then you're out of it, and then you try something else. I wanted to be make a commitment to something that I believe that can work on the long term. And I wanted to give it an opportunity at least for 2 to 5 years to see what can happen for us if I really commit to it, right? And you hear this kind of words that I'm using. So I was so desperate, and this is a very important part that we're talking about now. I was very, very desperate to become financially free and stay free in the long term. That was my reason. That was the dream. And let me tell you, folks, I have seen every time that people struggle to do the business, or they make excuses, or they don't get serious, or they don't really do something and lose their focus, it's because they are not thinking back about the reason, the dream they started. Because the dream, the reason you started is the thing that will keep you going. I guarantee you that. You can get many people saying no to the opportunity. You can have people, dropping out of your business. You can have a lot of people saying yes and they never do something. Or a lot of people say no to you, they don't want to join, and you get despondent. But let me tell you, the thing that will pull you through is your dream, the strong reason. Now, we were so desperate to become financially free that I said, I'm going to change a few things in my life. I'm going to set new priorities around my business so that I can really dedicate to this business on a part-time basis, and I'm going to put in an effort to work, make my business work. So I want to encourage you, when we finish this meeting today, is to go back, revisit your dream chart, look at your dreams, and ask yourself, is the dreams that I have put down my own dreams? And am I really serious about it? And as I say, I only had one dream when we started, that was to get out of debt. And I was so pushed by the bank manager that I was very, very desperate to make a plan, you see. So it all depends how desperate you are to fulfill your dream. In our case, we only wanted to make money. We didn't have other reasons. The other reasons and the other dreams started to come along as we started to see some money coming into the business. And I started to get ease and slack from the bank manager because I started to pay back my debt. I could start thinking more clearly and get even better dreams. But you need a dream that is so strong that no excuses will take it away. You know, there's a saying that a hunting dog don't have time to scratch his fleas. And what we mean by that, if you can be so focused like a hunting dog, he's only focused on one thing, and that is that thing that is hunting. And even if the fleas bite him like crazy, he doesn't even feel the pain because he's too focused to feel the pain. So nothing can distract you from a dream that is so strong, and that will give you the energy to do this business. And that is where we got our energy from the beginning. I said, listen, it looks like a great opportunity. It's a fantastic company. I meet fantastic people. I see a lot of good results. If I go through the lifestyle magazine, I see so many fantastic examples of people that are successful. And if they can do it, why not me? So I keep on feeding the believability level, because I said, listen, I'm so desperate, I don't see another way out. And I believe God has sent this opportunity in our lives. So I'm just going to focus on it, and I'm going to put my mind to it. So what did I do? I changed a few things. I watched less TV. I invested in garden services. I had less community activities. And let me tell you what happened in community activities. I was on a lot of community groups and everything. And, you know, it makes you feel good because people stroke your ego all the time. They tell you, hey, we cannot do without you. You're such a fantastic person. And then you do all this work and you help. But at the end of the day, they put all the work on you. And let me tell you, when I stood back from a few community activities to give myself more time, I realized within a week or two, they found another willing person to do my job. So it is not that they couldn't do without me. It's just they stroke my ego because there's somebody who worked for free for them. So you got to watch out for those things, because it doesn't mean that you don't have to be involved in your community, but watch out for those things where people just want to abuse you. And that is where I found some extra time. I started to do less squash games and jogged a little bit more. I organized my meetings better so that I have less meetings. And I did everything that I can to build on the relationship with the bank manager to give him hope on my plans. And before I knew it, I had more than 5 to 12 hours a week available. So you see, it's just a question of honestly sit down, look at your program, what you currently do per week, and you will actually be surprised sometimes how much time we waste and how much time we can get extra. Now, the next important thing is, what do you do now? What I did, I choose specific days. So in my case, my time was very limited. I choose a Monday and a Tuesday after hours. So I only could choose on a Monday and a Tuesday from 5 o'clock till 11 o'clock at night. That's the time I had available to build the business. So what did I do? During those times, I made the calls, and in this case, we do the Zooms, and I contacted people, and I did training with people, and I might, do presentations with people. So I really worked hard during those hours, but I did it every Monday evening and every Tuesday evening. When a friend called me and said, listen, I want to just come over and we can sit and have some coffee Tuesday evening, I said, sorry, we can make it Wednesday evening, but Tuesday evening, I'm busy building my future. I don't have time to play around. I'm focused on what I do. So you have to learn to say no to people who want to waste your time. You must be focused, and people will pick that up very, very quickly. So that's the hours that we did. And then we decided that we will build the business part-time, not spare time. There's a big difference. Spare time is when you build the business when you can find the time. That's normally never. But part-time is when you dedicate specific hours every week and specific days of the week that you stick to. And that's the time. So in your case, you will look at your program and you will decide which days of the week is working the best for you. Maybe it's during a weekend or whatever it is. You look at the hours, but during those hours, you must focus. You must really put effort into the business. Don't just sit in front of a computer or in front of your diary and now start making plans, but you never exercise the plans. Normally what I did on a Sunday evening when everything went quiet, I just took my diary and then I look at the whole week in front of me and I said, okay, let's look at what I've planned and what I must get into place. And what I did with my physical diary, I took something like this, a highlighter, and then in my diary, I blocked out the times that was dedicated to my business in the same color. So whenever I wanted to fill my diary, it was easy for me on a Sunday evening to look at all the open blocks and spaces and know that's the times that are dedicated that I must fill. And sometimes what I did on a Saturday, I had a few hours available in between preparing for sermons and all this kind of thing that I could dedicate to unpack a starter kit or whatever it is. So what's the point I want to make here? Be honest with your own program. Decide it's a priority to do New Life properly on a part-time basis, that is 5 to 12 hours per week, consistently every week, and not spare time when you have the time, because that is never. Then you will never do it. And let me give you a little bit of feedback what happened. We stayed dedicated to this plan of 5 to 12 hours per week. In 6 months' times, we were Emerald Directors, and we sustained our qualification as a director now for 33 years, every month, consistently qualified as a director, and we still going on with the same direction. So when we became director, we never stood back. We did what needs to be done to qualify, because let me tell you, it's incredibly motivating when you receive the director bonus every month, the Emerald Director bonus. And it's incredibly motivating for your team, because in this business, we lead by example. So if your team look at you and you're not excited, they're wondering what's wrong. But let me tell you, if you get a consistent Emerald Director bonus every month when you're a director and you're qualified consistently, you will stay excited. I guarantee you that. Because you will get that money in your bank. So you look after your customers, you build consistently getting new people in your business, and you build a solid structure in your business so that you can keep on qualifying consistently. And when you have a director coming up in your downline, you got to run like crazy to get new people in, so that when that director qualifies and he takes the 4,000 points away, you can do your own 4,000 on your own. It's very important to look properly. And that's where your upline president's team member come in to help you to plan, to look consistently at your business and say, listen, I see red lights. You got to move fast and get more people in, because this downline is going to pass you if you don't watch out for it. So you see, you can never relax in this business if you want to get somewhere, right? It's very, very important. That's why if you don't become dedicated, if you don't work consistently every week on a part-time basis with a long-term thinking in your business, you're going to have problems. And so in 6 months, we became Emerald Directors. In about 2.5 years, we became 2 Ruby Directors on a part-time basis. And then we really realized this is an exciting business. And eventually, when we became 3 Ruby Directors, actually, that is first time when I went full-time in the business. So, folks, the proof is there. And I tell you, remember this, you cannot do it what you love. You cannot do it wrong enough, long enough. Because you can keep on making mistakes, but you learn out of your mistakes, and then you start adjusting. But the real thing here is, if you have a dream that is so strong that you don't back up, you don't take excuses, and you stay dedicated every week to the hours that you have plotted out for your business, and you see this as a priority, because there's nothing to lose, but there's so much to gain. And let me tell you, New Life is going nowhere. Your upline president's team members, the karaoke, is going nowhere. They're serious about their future, and they're already standing on a hilltop, and they say, hey, come and have a look, see the view that we have. Come along, we have shown you that it can work. So believe them, and trust on what they already have achieved, and believe them, and start following and get serious when they talk about it. So because we stayed committed to the 5 to 12 hours per week, we are now today financially free as full-time president's team members, and we have lots of quality time available. Can you see what happened? Our biggest challenge became our biggest victory. Our biggest challenge was time. We didn't have the time, but we prioritized, and today it's our biggest victory. We have enough quality time that we can spend on things that is really important for us. So I want to encourage you today by saying, do not lose hope. Set new priorities every day. put in your 5 to 10 hours per week and stay dedicated every week to your part-time business. Think long-term because of the dream that you have in your new life business, and you will see that your biggest challenge will become your biggest victory. That is what I wanted to share with you and the team today, Josfat and Pierre Rose. And I just want to encourage you folks, it's not a complicated, there's no special secrets that nobody know of. It's simple, basic things like dedication, commitment, proper planning, having a great dream, sticking to the dream. Don't take no for an answer. Don't take excuses. Don't make excuses, but stay dedicated and believe in what you do. And if you keep on doing it, that there's a law of God that says, what you sow, you will reap. You better believe in that law, because that's the law that I kept on believing in. I said, listen, if the law of God is true, that what I sow, I will reap, I will just hang on to that law. And you know, it also says that if you sow negative things, it will bite you from behind. If you sow positive things, it will excel you forward. And the word also says that if you sow good seeds, it will come back to you 30 and 60 and 100-fold. You know how many returns that is? It's a big return. And Lydia and myself, my wife, we can vouch for that today after 33 years in the business. God's law is always true. So don't let anybody else tell you all kinds of stuff. Just do the simple basic things and stick to it. It doesn't matter what anybody says. And you can see, make your first goal to qualify every month as a director. It can be done. And we talk from experience. It can be done. I thank God every day that we have done it for more than 34 years, and it's still happening every month, just as a director. And you build from there, and you set the example, and this business then will give you returns that you will come to the day that you will pinch yourself and say, is this really me? Or is it somebody else? So thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit with you, Josfat and Kreauke, and with a whole wonderful team of leaders here. And may you have your best month ever, and make this your best year ever. It's the beginning of the year, and may the superstars shine big time. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much, Hansie, for that wonderful session. I can see the team is clapping for you, and we really appreciate. You are a great grandfather to the team here. And, you know, I can assure you that the results will show that you did a great session. So thank you so much, Hansie.